Dana Osgood is kicking off a very busy weather week. So just to be clear, the showers we see now, the weather conditions outside right now, none of this has to do with the hurricane that we're also tracking.
Nope, we've got a stationary front right along the coast that's just been hanging out there. And with just so much moisture in the atmosphere, we've just seen scattered showers throughout the day. Hurricane Lee is still out in the Atlantic.
Okay, keeping an eye on it way in the distance.
Yeah, I will talk about it in just a minute, but like I mentioned, that stationary front has been right along the coast throughout the day today, giving us on and off showers. And you can see here that some of the heavier rain is kind of in this banding format that we get from the front. And we do still have some more rain on the way down here in Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire. A couple of spots of lightning coming up, and we could see some localized flooding, but overall not expecting anything major. Now, last week we had our last taste of summer. Today, though, right along the coastline, we did get up into the mid-70s, right around average for this time of year, but farther inland, only into the upper 60s. So starting to get that fall-like feel out there, but something that doesn't feel like fall is the dew points. We've got a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, especially right along the coastline where that front is sitting. So dew points in the upper 60s to lower 70s. It gets a little bit drier the farther you go inland, but it's still holding on to that kind of humid, summery feel. Now, that front that's stationary right off the coast is going to move just off the coast and begin to break up over the next couple of days, but we have another system that's moving in right behind it. So we're not going to get too much in relief from the rain. In fact, once we go into Wednesday, we'll start with some showers, but we'll end with some pretty consistent rain. And then right behind this system, where it moves out Wednesday night into Thursday morning, that's where we'll have a high pressure system, which will give us a little bit more sunshine and will also give us an indication where Hurricane Lee is going to begin to move as it makes its way north. But now for the rest of the night tonight, we're going to see a couple of showers continue to move through, especially along the coastline. The farther you go inland, it'll dry out a little bit earlier. And then Tuesday, we're going to have less showers, so it'll be a drier day than today. But overall, it's still going to be mostly cloudy, so it's not going to feel that much better. And then that second system begins to move in for Wednesday, where we'll start the day with some scattered showers, but we'll get into some heavier rain as we go into the afternoon and night. And then as we get into Thursday, that's when the high pressure system will roll in. So Hurricane Lee, currently a Category 3 storm, expected to strengthen slightly before becoming weaker as it gets into some cooler water before it heads up towards New England. Now, we don't know exactly where the storm is going to make landfall, but we do have some headlines that we can look at. So for our definite impacts, high surf and rip currents. No matter where this system lands, that's an impact that it's going to have along the coastline. The rain and wind intensity is going to be very dependent on the storm location, and the location of that landfall is currently unknown. Currently, it is trending to our east, but that's something that over the next couple of days we'll have to keep an eye on. At least for right now, seas 2 to 4 feet and water at 66 degrees. So last week we had a nice feel of summer, but this week we're going to see some more rainfall. We'll get a little bit nicer later in the week, but then we have Hurricane Lee to contend with. So Brian and Amanda, we're kind of just keeping all the data that we have together to give us just an idea of where Hurricane Lee is going to go. And what we need always is just some more time to kind of really lock down where it's going to be.
I know, because that's the million-dollar question this week.
Right.
Where's it headed?
As
All
always.
right, Dana, thanks so much. Well, Mother Nature showing a little love to Maine in the form of a cloud. Check this out. A viewer was out in Portland this weekend, immediately noticed that this cloud, do you see it? Looks like a lobster claw.
Yeah.
Remember, if you see something like this, you can share it with us very easily in the Near Me section of the News Center Maine app.